Hi guys, Iron Cameraman here. With every new episode, the power of the Astro toilet seems almost unbreakable. In the fandom, there's already a well-rooted opinion that beating them is going to be tough, if possible at all. I've said this before, and I agree with that view. But as it turns out, it's not all that clear-cut. I won't drag out the intro, just one thing. To fully understand this video, it's best to watch from start to finish. And every single subscription and like brings us closer to that coveted 1 million subscribers. I'll definitely prepare something special for that event. So don't be lazy, show your support. Let's go. In the interview, there was a question. Will the episodes come out more often now that Boom has a team? To figure out if that's true, we need to break down what the team is doing. For that, let's take a look at the description of Part 1 of Episode 79. And what do we see? Help with design, action scene layout, background animation, and particles. It goes without saying that Boom is still doing the main and most time-consuming work, mostly by himself, animating the episode. There were 6 full weeks between the last 2 episodes, and all we got was 7 minutes. Considering that, it's unlikely we'll see a big speed-up in episode releases, not until they find an animator on Boom's level, which is very doubtful. The most logical outcome would be a return to the old format, splitting episodes into lots of shorter parts, so we could at least get them consistently once a month. Extra scenes in full episodes and seasons cover the need to cram tons of events into one part, like in Part 1 of Episode 79. That part could have easily ended at the 4-minute and 20-second mark, leaving the main course, the battle with the Watchmen of Doom, for the next, longer part. Maybe all the side scenes like the translator explanation should be saved for full episodes and seasons, and we should focus on the battles. That way, we'd get what we're all waiting for as often as possible, and the rest would follow afterward. The next question is the most intriguing one. When answering it, Boom talked about the plans for the next 10 episodes. He said we're in for big events and that everything's gonna be super hyped. So what kind of intriguing events and characters is Boom talking about? He's already mentioned many of them before, and now I suggest we remember them. A new faction will join the Alliance already in Episode 81, the PC Men, and they're already among us. This is confirmed by another one of his replies. G and someone connected to him will play a key role in the episodes in the 80s. In another reply, Mr. Boom already promised us that Scorpion is coming back to the screen. By the way, is he connected to G? Yes, because he calls him his commander. Most likely they fought together in the past, but unlike Juggernaut, not side by side, just as part of their duty. There are other candidates, too. To figure out who it might be, let's take a closer look at Juggernaut's words in Season 25. Someone you know is here too. After that, G's face shows clear confusion, surprise, almost shock. Juggernaut continues, with a special mission, meaning the one he was talking about. Will you do what you must when the time comes? So from G's reaction and Juggernaut's question, it's clear there's a connection like the one he had with the scientist or Juggernaut himself, meaning they used to be allies, comrades. That's why Juggernaut asks if G is ready to kill someone that important. Could it be G's child? Yes, the Astros could have given them the task of eliminating G, their father, a traitor, to prove their loyalty to the Astros. The second candidate is the Duke, in my opinion less likely. Considering the Duchess came on her own and isn't part of the Astro military, then why would the Duke be sent to fight on Earth? And who could even give such an order to a whole Duke, besides the Astro Emperor? Seems like too much honor for a bunch of traitors who escaped to Earth. So let's stick with the child theory. It's not said whether it's a son or a daughter. Judging by the Duchess, Camera Woman, and other female characters, a character's power doesn't depend on gender. Naturally, G won't kill his child, just like he didn't kill Juggernaut. He'll try to bring them over to his side. Probably won't work right away. Otherwise, it wouldn't be interesting. But G might accidentally or on purpose take a hit to protect them and convince them that way. During their conversations, we'll also learn the reasons behind G's betrayal and the details of his past, what kind of commander he was, what connected him to the scientist and the other Astros, and how and why he fought Juggernaut. The chair, or rather Agentessa, is a crucial character. Taking into account another one of Boom's answers, that software viruses will play a role soon, we can assume 2 things. First, we'll learn more about Agentessa, her contribution and role in the Secret Squad, since she was directly involved in expanding it by hacking the operator back in Season 25, though I'd actually call it more of a forced reprogramming because as a result, he was installed with the Alpha Hills operating system. Most likely that's what gives agents access to the green energy the twins were using. Second theory, The software viruses might actually belong to the PC men. They should have their own exclusive abilities, and this fits the PC profile perfectly. In episode 80, we'll see a new powerful character, or the return of an old one. Obviously, it's still too early for Titan Cameraman. G doesn't count since we saw him recently. Scorpion is also expected later. So that only leaves Titan Speakerman, which is odd since everyone's expecting him to return in part 2 of episode 79. It's only possible if G is the one who buys time for the cameramen to evacuate. Is it possible we'll see a completely new, powerful character? Unlikely. We just got a semi-Titan from the Speakermen, then from the Skibidis, and also Simp 2.0 aka Chad. All of them need time and space to get fully revealed. It's impossible to cram so many major characters on screen at once without them stealing the spotlight from each other. Back to G. Since he's a former Astro commander, he knows a lot, if not everything, about their strengths and, more importantly, their weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Now that he's allied with the Alliance, he could help create incredibly effective weapons against them, plus strategies and tactics that could turn the tide of the war. G-Man also knows that Astro is a massive and nearly unbeatable empire that's existed for thousands of years. A single victory on Earth would only delay the inevitable defeat. The real key to winning might lie in the very reason G betrayed the Astros in the first place, the reason why the Scientist, Juggernaut, and others followed him. As a commander, he has the power to divide and lead others within the Astro ranks. But the true victory in this war would be to seize power from the one who probably stands above even the Dukes, the Emperor. The Supreme Astro, a position clearly held by the strongest of them all, could either stop this war instantly or escalate it into complete devastation. We've talked about this question many times before, so I'll just quickly name the possible candidates: G-Man and Speaker Titan. If in the previous question he gave a vague answer, here he left it completely unanswered, unlike me. Let's start with why the Astros didn't attack Earth for such a long time. As Boom himself said, they were preparing, which is exactly what we see now. The Astros are equipped with protective goggles and lenses against the Speakermen and TV men. But if they're so powerful, what's the point of all that? Can't they just destroy the whole Earth with one attack from some kind of Death Star? Based on how long it took them to locate the Cameraman base and the number of troops they sent to take out the biggest threat, the Titans, we can also assume that the Astros don't have a huge presence on Earth. So it turns out their empire doesn't win by numbers, but by quality. Maybe that's exactly why. Their empire is so massive that their main forces are probably either conquering new planets or trying to hold them against rival interplanetary or intergalactic alliances. That's why only a relatively small squad was sent to deal with the traitors on Earth. But even when it comes to quality, things aren't that clear-cut either. First, it evened out pretty quickly because the Alliance and the Skibidis just stole the Astro's tech. Second, they have their own powers too. For example, the TV men can easily take control of astro-mechanical bodies, teleport away from anyone except the UFO, and just fight effectively. Titan TV Man and Semi-Titan Speaker Man proved that very clearly. The Astro's communication was also disrupted either by the secret agent or the PC men. So all of this shows they're not as unbeatable as they seem. On Earth, they're getting crushed pretty confidently, and it's only getting worse for them. But this is a war of attrition. Bases and fighters on Earth will eventually run out, while the Astros can keep sending reinforcements from distant planets thanks to their hyperdrives. That's what makes their strategy work. That's their real strength. Just look at their half-successful plan to capture TV Titan and destroy his base. But that's both their strength and their weakness, because without commanders like the UFO and G, who can come up with those kinds of plans, the rest of the Astro troops are pretty helpless, and commanders can eventually be captured or killed, especially since everyone knows how valuable they are. The point is, gaining the upper hand or even just reaching parity with the Astros is not as hard as it seems. The effective resistance on Earth proves that. Plus, even the Astros aren't truly united. G-Toilet and Juggernaut are proof of that. So, is this empire really as strong as we think?